Chosen one. Have you ever noticed how tired you've become lately? Not physically tired, but something deeper. The kind of exhaustion sleep cannot fix. The kind that follows you into the morning even after 8 hours in bed. You wake up, check your phone, stare at the ceiling for a few seconds, and already feel behind in life before the day even begins. And the strange part is, people think you're lazy. They see the unfinished goals, the delayed plans, the messages you never replied to, the opportunities you didn't chase, the projects you started but never finished. And from the outside, it looks like procrastination. But what if the truth is much deeper than that? What if your soul is exhausted from carrying things nobody else can see? Chosen ones often blame themselves for not having enough motivation. But most of the time, it is not laziness, it is emotional overload. Spiritual exhaustion, mental warfare that has been happening silently for years. Because deep people do not just experience life, they absorb it. When you walk into a room full of tension, you feel it immediately. When someone speaks with fake energy, your spirit notices it. When the world becomes too loud, too shallow, too disconnected, your nervous system carries that weight even when nobody else seems affected. That is why normal life feels unusually heavy for you. You can spend an entire day doing almost nothing and still feel mentally drained at night, because your exhaustion is not only coming from work, it is coming from constant inner processing. Most chosen ones have spent years fighting invisible battles, battles with overthinking, battles with feeling misunderstood, battles with isolation, battles with trying to fit into a world that rewards noise while your soul craves depth. And eventually, something inside you becomes tired. Not weak. Tired. There is a difference. Weakness says, I don't care anymore. Exhaustion says, I've been carrying too much for too long. And many chosen ones are secretly carrying emotional weight they never talk about. The pressure to become something meaningful. The fear of wasting their potential. The loneliness of feeling different from everyone around them. The silent frustration of knowing they were meant for more, while feeling completely stuck at the same time. That contradiction destroys energy. You know what is interesting? Sometimes chosen ones are hardest on themselves during seasons when God is actually trying to pull them inward. The world says, move faster, do more, stay productive. But sometimes God isolates you because your spirit is overcrowded. Sometimes the delay is not punishment. Sometimes the stillness is preparation. Think about how many people today are constantly distracted. Constant noise, constant scrolling, constant stimulation. Yet deep down, many of them never truly think, never truly reflect, never truly sit with themselves. But chosen ones cannot escape their inner world so easily. You replay conversations in your mind. You analyze life deeply. You question reality. You wonder about purpose, destiny, meaning. And after years of this mental intensity, your spirit eventually reaches a point where it needs silence more than stimulation. That is why sometimes you disappear from people without explanation. Not because you hate them, but because your soul becomes overwhelmed. There are chosen ones listening to this right now who feel guilty for resting. Guilty for slowing down. Guilty for not being productive enough. But what nobody tells you is that emotional exhaustion can look exactly like laziness from the outside. A person who is spiritually drained may struggle to reply to messages, finish simple tasks, stay motivated, wake up excited, or even explain what they are feeling. And the dangerous part is, they often judge themselves before anyone else does. You tell yourself, why can't I just focus? Why am I wasting time? Why am I so tired all the time? But maybe your spirit is asking for healing, not pressure. Think about your daily life for a moment. How many times have you opened your laptop or phone to work on your dreams, only to suddenly feel mentally blocked? Not because you lack ambition, but because your mind is overloaded. How many times have you isolated yourself in your room, staring into nothing, while your body rests but your thoughts keep running? That is not ordinary tiredness. That is inner exhaustion. And many chosen ones experience this after years of emotional suppression, years of pretending to be okay, years of carrying pain silently, years of surviving environments that drained their spirit. Some of you became emotionally strong too early in life. You learned how to suppress emotions instead of expressing them. You became the listener, the helper, the observer, the strong one. But eventually, even strong souls become tired. Sometimes God allows this exhaustion because He is trying to separate you from a version of yourself that was built only for survival. The old version of you kept running on pressure, fear, and constant proving. But your spirit cannot evolve while constantly operating in survival mode. So life begins slowing you down, not to destroy you, but to rebuild you differently. That is why some chosen ones suddenly lose interest in things that once excited them. Old conversations feel empty. Certain friendships feel draining. Constant social interaction becomes exhausting. Even success itself can start feeling meaningless if it is disconnected from purpose, because your soul is changing. And transformation often looks like confusion before it looks like clarity. One of the biggest lies chosen ones believe is this: if I rest, I'm failing. No. Rest is sometimes part of spiritual alignment. Even nature rests. Seasons change. Trees lose leaves. The ocean pulls back before it returns stronger. And maybe your life right now feels quiet because God is teaching you how to hear yourself again beneath all the noise. Not every season is meant for constant output. Some seasons are for healing. Some are for reflection. Some are for rebuilding your mind. Because a burned-out soul cannot carry a meaningful purpose for long. And let's be honest, many chosen ones are exhausted because they have been trying to carry everyone else emotionally while secretly drowning themselves. You check on others, support others, encourage others. But when it comes to your own emotions, you stay silent. You tell yourself, "I'll deal with it later." But ignored emotions do not disappear. They accumulate, until one day your body slows down, your motivation disappears, and your spirit forces you to confront what you kept avoiding. This is why some chosen ones suddenly withdraw from society. It is not always depression. Sometimes it is spiritual recovery. Sometimes your soul is trying to breathe again. And maybe this message found you during one of those seasons. A season where you feel disconnected from your old self. A season where you question your direction. A season where you feel tired in ways you cannot explain to people around you. If that is you, listen carefully. You are not broken, you are not lazy, and you are not failing as badly as you think. You may simply be carrying too much internally while trying to function normally externally. That kind of imbalance eventually exhausts anyone. But exhaustion is not the end of your story. Sometimes it is the beginning of awakening, because when your spirit becomes too exhausted to keep pretending, you finally begin seeking what is real. Real peace, real purpose, real connection with God, real alignment, not performance, not distraction, not constant proving. Chosen one, maybe your soul is not asking you to become more productive right now. Maybe it is asking you to become more honest. Honest about what drained you. Honest about what hurt you. Honest about what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Because healing begins where pretending ends. And sometimes the strongest thing a chosen one can do is stop calling themselves lazy for being spiritually exhausted after surviving battles nobody ever saw. You were never weak for slowing down. Maybe God slowed you down because your soul needed to catch up with your life. And perhaps this season is not about becoming someone new, but finally returning to who you truly were before the world exhausted you.